5. We're too strategic about our responses. It goes like this. Responding right away comes across as desperate and too available. It's amazing how millennials view the luxury of having instant access to communication as something we need to treat as if we are still using carrier pigeons. Instant messaging is just that. It's instant, but we still withhold our response times to try and show just how busy, important, and unattached we are. What backwards and BS logic. Like, imagine you have your phone and your crush texts you or whoever texts you and you see it. Why would you go on the conversation and wait 5 hours and then come back and answer? Like, what kind of game is that? You're not desperate. If you have the phone on your hand and you see the text and you reply, that's called human being. That's not being desperate. That's just being normal. Why do we think that waiting 5, 4, 2 days, 3 months, whatever time to answer a text, it's more like, oh, he's gonna love me? Fuck you. Like, what kind of logic is that? Girl, please. Get the fuck out. 6. We expect a perfection that doesn't exist. That is so true. Social media and thousands of dating apps shows in our faces leads us to believe we are entitled a fairy tale life that doesn't truly exist. We write people off for a minor detail and quickly look for the next best thing that we'll somehow also find flaws in. Nothing is ever good enough for millennials. We fail to realize that relationships are a balanced bond and that with the amazing things come imperfections as well. Again, I've always thought that someone who's perfect to me is a person who is aware of their flaws. They know they have flaws and they know there are a lot of things they have to work on, the same way I have to work on things myself. That will be somebody who's perfect to me. You have to learn and accept that perfection doesn't exist. So if you go on a date and you both like each other and you go on this kind of like relationship and stuff, you need to know that a relationship is going to have ups and downs. You're going to argue, you're going to disagree in so many things, but that's something beautiful because you need to have a balance and you need to have good and bad and just work things out together. You learn from the other person, that person learns from you, you guys exchange experiences, and that's how relationships work. That's how I see it. But when I was reading this article, I was just like, we need to be shaken. We need to be like, yo, wake up. Because we keep looking for stuff that is not real. And that's how we have a lot of people feeling insecure, people who are killing themselves in the gym. Gym is always fine, okay? If you try to look good for somebody else, then it's not gonna work either. Because you need to feel 100% okay with yourself. How you gonna win if you end right within? That is something that Lauryn Hill said a long time ago and stayed here forever. We shouldn't treat people as a catalog. Just go and swipe, no. Like, who are you to be judging other person just like, no, you're not good enough, you're not. When I was on Tinder, when I was living in Dubai, well, Dubai and Tinder is another video. There is definitely another video. I don't like superficial people, and I definitely don't like people who are always looking for your flaws and looking for something to criticize about you. Because it is pointless. This conversation is with you, but it's also to me to understand why things are not really working, either in my life or just like in society in general. 8, we have become content with being alone. Girl, I love being on my own. I am a very talkative person and I love being around people, but love being on my own. I don't want to be disturbed. I don't want to be bothered, not at all. And that's great, but sometimes I'm just like, I love this comfort zone too much. Anyway, goes like this. While we have been navigating the journey to find love, we have consequently committed our lives to ourselves and made them into something that's happy and rewarding without someone to love, which means it is that much harder to invite a relationship into our lives. We are fine on our own. While we have been navigating the journey to find love, we have consequently committed our lives to ourselves and made them into something that is happy and rewarding without someone to love, which means it is that much harder to invite a relationship into our lives. We are fine on our own, so we won't leave our comfort zones for anyone. Sometimes we even find minor and trivial reasons not to because we are secretly happy with things just the way they are. I feel guilty for this one. If I want sex, I can always masturbate. I can please myself. And that's fine. That's totally fine. But sometimes it's just like, I think I just need to get ready, go out and try to find a different kind of peace, if that makes sense. But that's a tricky point. It is tricky because if we all did things differently, then, I wouldn't be doing this video probably. 9. We are always stuck in a gray area. It goes like this. Almost relationships and no strings attached sex are the millennial versions of commitment. We are left constantly wondering where relationships are headed, if anywhere, and plague ourselves with wondering if we are wasting our time. No one is clear about their intentions. Some lie about their intentions entirely just to have their egos stroked for a while. And basically no one has any clue what the fuck is going on. So this is another thing that comes up in conversations with my friends. They're like, okay, so I've been in this relationship for like 7 years and it was great, and then it just finished. And now I'm wondering, what did I do for 7 years? Where did we go? What does it mean to have a relationship? That is something that I cannot really help you with because I've never been in a relationship. I honestly think it's because I was very true to myself and I was very honest with the rest of the world. And some people are not ready to take the truth and to accept it. They want to have this beautiful and fake idea of life. Not today, baby. We are also confused, like, where are we going? Like, what are we doing? Why things are not working? Why we are trying our best, yet nothing's really coming our way. That is why we need more people talking about these issues on a regular basis. If we all expose our issues when it comes to texting, sexting, love, sex, men, women, relationships and stuff, we all will understand what is going on. That's how I think. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but I definitely think we live in this lazy and confused society. We're just trying. We are trying. Maybe that's why things are not really working, because we are trying. We are trying to find a different way of doing things, and maybe not. Everything is so uncertain these days. 10. We don't feel accountable for the pain we inflict on to others. It goes like this. When we have hurt someone's feelings, we don't feel even the slightest bit inclined to apologize or to make good on our wrongs. It's not our problem, it's theirs. A person's emotions, even if caused by something we did or said, is up to them to resolve. We feel entitled to walk around acting like complete losers with the expectations that the way it's received is a reflection of the person we dumped or stuff on, and nothing to do with the fact that we were the cruel ones. Well, this is something I cannot relate, because if I've done something wrong, I have to talk it out. Ego will kill you. So stop acting like nothing hurts and stop acting like your feelings are untouchable, because they are not. Sometimes you need to lower your ego and say, listen, I did this wrong, or I didn't mean to do this. Can we solve this problem? Because it is impossible that everybody is hurting you and you're never doing something wrong. That is impossible. So there is something wrong that you're doing that needs to be solved as well. It's too much information right now. I don't even know if I'm making sense no more. I don't care. Sometimes we don't realize, but we can be very cruel. And maybe it's not our intention. And I've seen myself in that position. And when I think about it, I'm like, whoa, why didn't I talk about it? I try to be more aware of what I do and my actions now, even though I keep making mistakes every single day. At least I try. But girl, you are not the only one in this world. And sometimes you need to, live your life around people and you need to apologize. Apologize. 11. We are all jaded as hell. It goes like this. Trust is severely lacking in our dating culture. We are in the thick of a hookup culture that values sex more than love. Word. Temporary fulfillment instead of lifelong commitment. Word. And lazy ass communication that often gets lost in translation. We are also confused by our own pasts, and with heaps of more stuff constantly being added to the pile, we are all becoming more and more jaded than ever before. We don't even trust that love exists anymore because all we are constantly met with disappointment. Dating as a millennium, it's pretty screwed up. Totally agree. I've seen myself telling myself, I don't want to get really attached to that person because I have suffered before. But if I keep thinking that way, I will never find what I want in life. I need to stop that wall that I have constructed just surrounding me to try to, let other things come to my life. This applies in the professional world. This applies in my love life. This applies everywhere. Somehow and unintentionally, I have built this wall that will block anybody from coming to my life and will block new emotions and new people and new lovers and new everything, new experiences just because of my past experiences. That is why it's so important for us to have people around us so we can talk about mental health and we can talk about what is wrong with us, how we see life, how we see these kinds of issues, because we need to talk it out. This happens and it is important to have people that will understand, and to expose these kind of things is definitely crucial. But anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for listening to me. Tell me what you think about this article and we'll see you soon.